Every Thursday, all across this nation, people are standing outside and clapping and cheering for the NHS and other key workers to say thank you very much for all that they are doing throughout this pandemic. So this week, I thought I would say a special thank you to all those people who have played a seemingly small but very important role in my journey to doing what I love. Now, I know the dad thing is normal to start by thanking your family. I love you, Mum. I love you, Dad. But I'd like to dedicate this to some slightly less obvious people. So first up, Reverend Terence Kane, who was the pastor of the church I used to attend in Manchester, Bucksbar New Testament Church of God. At the age of 17, I wrote my first play, and it won a prize. And I remember running to my pastor in excitement, like, Pastor, this play I've written has won a prize, and I'd love to put it on at church. Now, I was 17 years old. He didn't ask me to see the script. He didn't say, I'm going to call a committee meeting to see if you can do this. He looked in his diary and he gave me a date and he said, this is the day I'm going to give you to do your play. How long is it going to take? And I said, I think it's been about 2 hours. Yes, my very first script was a 2-hour long play. And he said, okay, we will dedicate the entire Sunday evening service to your play. This was back in the day when they used to have 2 services on a Sunday. Remember those days? So I ran around the church grabbing this person and that person and giving them a script and saying, hey, you're going to play this role and you're going to play that role. And I had no idea at the time what I was doing. So I wanted to say thank you so much to Pastor Terence Kane for allowing me that opportunity. It really helped me to grow and to develop, and it gave me the confidence to do what I do today. And just a side note to any pastors out there who are pastoring churches, if you see young people in your church with a talent, then nurture it. Give them the opportunities to develop and to grow within a safe environment. So thank you again, Reverend Kane. That just reaffirmed in me what I wanted to study at university. Now that brings me on nicely to my second thank you, Carol Barlow, an amazing woman who also attended the church in Manchester. I remember when I got accepted onto university to do the course I wanted to do, performing arts. It was based in Alsatia. Now, if you actually know where Alsatia is, leave me a message in the comment box, because I've never met anyone who's even heard of Alsatia, never mind know where it is. And at the time I knew there was nowhere I could share halls of residence with other students, sharing kitchens and other spaces. I've got issues, I'll talk about those maybe in another video. But anyway, I had this fantastic idea that I was going to drive to and from the campus because it was 45 minutes away from home. But then I realized that some nights I'd be using the rehearsal spaces to like midnight, and then my mum said she didn't want me on the road so late. I'd only just passed my test, and we came to this big standoff where my mum was like, no, you're definitely not driving, and I was like, well, no, I'm definitely not staying on campus. And I thought for a minute, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to go to uni. And I remember speaking to Carol about it, and she was like, no worries, Sil, we're going to sort you out. We're going to drive down there one Saturday and we're going to find you somewhere to live. And I was thinking, well, how's that going to work? Anyway, she bundled me into her car one Saturday and we drove all the way to Alsatia. We stopped at a post office and there were these little notices in the windows, and there just happened to be a woman who had a spare room and she was looking to rent it. And Carol was like, this sounds like it's the one for you. She called the woman, she spoke to the woman, she drove me over there. The house was pristine. It was so neat and clean and tidy. Icing on the cake was that this woman worked away from home a lot, so some weeks I actually had the house to myself. So thank you again, Carol. I still remember your crazy driving through those tiny, windy country roads, thinking, am I even going to make this journey in one piece? But because of your seemingly small gesture, it meant that I was able to spend my university years living in comfort. Now I'm going to fast forward a few years. We all need those people in our lives who believe in us, sometimes even when we don't believe in ourselves. Praise God, I've got a few of those. Today I'm going to mention 2, this dude and this girl. First off, Serge. I remember meeting Serge almost 10 years ago, working on a project, and we got talking about what we did, and then the next day he came back and he said, oh, I had a look at your website last night and I really love the description of your show, Family Secrets. I'd really love to produce it for you. And I said, oh, well, I'm just about to produce that myself, because I had literally just started taking my plays into theatres. And he was like, okay, well, can we produce this together? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, right, okay, I know this great little theatre, we're going to put it on for 3 weeks. And I was like, whoa, I'm not putting a show on for 3 weeks. I only put my shows on for 1 night. And he was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would you put a show on for 1 night? All that rehearsal time and the effort that goes into it, then just to have it for 1 night. And I was like, well, you know, if I put a show on for 1 night, then it will sell out. If I put a show on for 3 weeks, who's going to come to the shows? And he was like, just put the show on and people will come. And I was like, no, I can't do that. Let's do 3 nights. And he was like, no, we're doing 3 weeks. Anyway, somewhere between 3 weeks and 3 nights, we settled on a week and we did 8 shows back to back. And I just want to say thank you so much, Serge, for your belief, for your encouragement. And that gave me the confidence I needed to start putting on shows for a lot longer than 1 night. Serge has also been faithfully there throughout all the projects I've worked on over the years in one capacity or another, even if it's just reading through a script or giving me ideas and suggestions. And remember my imposter syndrome video when I spoke about that person who forced me into making my first feature film? This guy. Thank you so much, Serge, for everything you've done for me over the years. I really appreciate it. Now, it's one thing saying that you believe in someone, but to empty your entire savings account to back that up, that's something completely different. But that's exactly what Sandy did for me. I remember when I set up my first crowdfunding page and Sandy made a huge donation, and I rang her up and I was like, I can't accept this, Sandy, this is way too much. And she simply said, Still, I've been saving this for something special over these years, and I believe this is what God is asking me to invest in. I really believe in you. I really believe in what you're doing, and I want to back that. And I was completely speechless. Sandy, thank you so much. That meant more to me than words can say. And I remember there were times along the project when, I came to a standstill and I thought, I can't do any more, I can't go any further, this is not going to get completed. But then I would remember that act of generosity and think, you know what, I can't let Sandy down. I can't let her savings go to waste. So thank you so much for believing in me, not just with your financial support, but with your prayers and everything else you've done for me on my projects over the years. And my prayer for anyone watching this video is that you have at least one person in your life who believes in you in the way that others have believed in me along the way. I'd also like to say thank you to someone without whom these videos every week would just be me here sitting behind the desk droning on. Thank you so much to the very talented Fleur, who adds all the humorous graphics, yes, like these, and all the sound effects every week. Thank you so much for putting your creativity into these videos and making them a lot more interesting than they really would be. Thank you. And my final thank you is actually for someone who hasn't been a part of my creative journey, this lovely lady, my neighbour Daniela. Now, lockdown has been a nightmare experience for most people. Well, apart from that one woman I know who lives in Nottingham who's really enjoying lockdown and she wants it to go on forever. But apart from you, everyone else I know has really been struggling with lockdown. But the only thing I could think of worse than lockdown itself would be lockdown next to a nightmare neighbour. You know those people who blast their music at all hours, who throw junk into your garden, who are really unsociable and rude. But thank God I've not had to experience that, because I actually have a very lovely neighbour. And I just wanted to say, Daniela, thank you for being a decent human being. And thank you for being a considerate neighbour. Okay, there's been the odd karaoke, but personally I find those quite amusing. But thank you for being a considerate neighbour. It's been a pleasure having you and your two gorgeous daughters as lockdown neighbours. And finally, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Jesus for blessing me with all these wonderful people and so many more in my life. If you've watched this video waiting to hear your name mentioned and you haven't, it's not that I don't appreciate you and all you've done for me. It's just that, well, Fleur wasn't willing to edit a video for 7 hours. And I'm sure none of you were willing to sit there and listen to me drone on for 7 hours. But I just wanted to say, if you've taken part in any of my plays as an actor or a director, or you've come out to support it, or you've been there in the background praying, or anything else, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate all that you've done, and I might not have mentioned you by name, but I am grateful to you. And to prove it, here's a kiss for you. Mwah! And here's one for you. Mwah! Mwah. Look, there's loads of kisses flying around, enough for everyone. Grab one quickly, it's just for you. So, who in your life can you thank? Have a think and then maybe give them a call or send them a text message, or make an entire video and dedicate it to them. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it the thumbs up button. You can hit the SVG logo to subscribe to this channel, or hit the playlist to catch any Silvano Shares videos you may have missed. See you next week.